Hi viewers, I take the pleasure of inviting you to this particular session. In this session, I am going to discuss elimination reaction mechanisms. What are elimination reactions? Elimination reactions are those reactions wherein a molecule is removed from the substrate by the action of an addendum or a reagent. Depending upon the place from which the elimination occurs, elimination reactions are broadly classified into several types. They are alpha elimination reactions, beta elimination reactions, gamma elimination reactions, delta elimination reactions, etc. Out of all these elimination reactions, beta elimination reactions are very common in organic molecules. Okay, let us focus on these beta elimination reactions. Beta elimination reactions, depending upon the mechanism that they follow, are classified further into three types. They are E1 reactions, E2 reactions, and E1CB reactions. Mostly, primary alkyl halides involve elimination via E2 mechanism, whereas tertiary alkyl halides involve elimination via E1 mechanism, and the substrates which are containing electron withdrawing groups prefer elimination via E1CB mechanism. And secondary alkyl halides may undergo elimination via E1 or E2 depending upon the substrate and also depending upon the reagent that is being used. So let us focus on the E1 reaction mechanism now. Generally, tertiary alkyl halide molecules undergo elimination via unimolecular mechanism. This particular mechanism involves two steps. First step is the slowest step or rate determining step. In this step, the carbon halogen bond gets broken heterolytically, giving you a carbocation intermediate. This carbocation intermediate will further deprotonate in a very fast manner to give you the alkene which is desired. Okay, so in this way, the elimination unimolecular reaction mechanism contains two steps altogether. The first step is the slowest step or rate determining step, nothing but cleavage of carbon halogen bond in a heterolytic manner, giving a carbocation intermediate. And the second step is fast deprotonation step to give the desired alkene. Let us focus the E1 mechanism with few examples on the board now. As a first example, let me take tertiary pentyl chloride. So I am taking tertiary pentyl chloride like this, and I am adding a weak base. Okay, alcoholic KOH most probably. So it is following E1 mechanism. Here what happens in the first step, which is the slowest step or rate determining step, RDS, rate determining step, carbon halogen bond is heterolytically cleaved. We all know pretty well that there are two electrons in a bond, and heterolytic cleavage leads to the formation of ions, and I am going to get a tertiary carbocation intermediate like this. With the elimination of which ion? The chloride ion is removed like this. Okay, fine. The tertiary carbocation obtained here is stabilized due to hyperconjugation phenomena, and it is having 3 plus 3 plus 2, totally 8 alpha hydrogens. So it's a tertiary carbocation which is having 8 alpha hydrogens, very stable, and not only that, it is having inductive effect stability also because of the 3 alkyl groups attached to the positively charged carbon. Fine. Now this loses a proton in a fast manner, losing a proton, and this reaction is very fast, giving you the final product. What is the final product? This is the final product. Actually, we also may get different other products because a proton may be removed from this site or from this site also, but that is formed in very small quantities. So I may get this alkene as a minor product, but the major product is 95% and above product is this particular more substituted alkene, which is nothing but 2-methyl butadiene, 2-methyl 2-butene. This is example number 1. In my second example, I am taking a secondary alkyl halide like this. It is nothing but 2-chloro-3-methyl butane. It's a secondary alkyl halide. Secondary alkyl halide. I told you, depending upon the conditions, secondary alkyl halide may adopt E1 mechanism or E2 mechanism. But here I am taking a mild base under hot conditions, therefore it will be adopting E1 mechanism. In the E1 mechanism, we all know pretty well, the first step is a rupture of carbon halogen bond in a heterolytic manner. So as a result, this rupture is occurring. Because of this particular rupture, the chloride ion will be removed and we are going to get a carbocation intermediate, and this carbocation obtained is secondary carbocation. Secondary carbocation. So I removed chloride ion, secondary carbocation intermediate is obtained. This step is the slowest step or rate determining step. However, the secondary carbocation is not stable and there is a possibility here to convert itself into a tertiary carbocation because of the 1,2 hydride shift that I am going to show here. This is the 1,2 hydride shift. Okay, as a result, I am going to get this carbocation. Now this is a tertiary carbocation. Therefore, always in E1 reaction mechanism, there is a possibility of a rearrangement. This rearrangement is called as Wagner-Meerwin rearrangement. Now, this particular tertiary carbocation so obtained loses a proton in the fast deprotonation step to give the corresponding alkene, which is more stable. This is more substituted alkene, which is most stable, obtained as a major product. And this alkene name is 2-methyl-butene. 2-methyl-2-butene also we can write. What are the salient features of E1 reaction mechanism? The salient features of E1 reaction mechanism include the formation of a carbocation intermediate. We all know pretty well a tertiary carbocation is more stabilized. Therefore, always in E1 reaction mechanism, there is a possibility of rearrangement. If at all, if there is a secondary carbocation formed, if there is a possibility of rearranging itself into a tertiary carbocation, then that rearrangement automatically takes place. Therefore, in E1 reaction mechanism, rearrangement may occur. Because E1 reaction mechanism is not stereospecific, we may get cis or trans products. In E1 reactions, even if the concentration of the base is doubled, the rate of reaction is not at all affected because the base is not present in the slowest step or the so-called rate determining step of the reaction. Whereas, if I double the concentration of alkyl halide, then the rate of reaction also gets doubled in E1 reactions, which means in E1 reactions, rate is depending only on the concentration of alkyl halide but not on the base taken. Therefore, E1 reactions follow first order kinetics. And in the rate determining step, because there is only one molecule participating as a reactant, all E1 reactions are unimolecular reactions. That is why the name E1 is given. When we look at the energy profile diagram of E1 reaction mechanisms, it consists of two peaks. The first peak is having high activation energy compared to the second peak, which indicates that the first step is the slowest step or rate determining step. It also contains a dip. The dip indicates the formation of carbocation intermediate. We are going to learn more about E1, E2 and E1CV reaction mechanisms and their energy profile diagrams in my next video. Thank you.